The story of Makkah in 1979, the siege of the Grand Mosque in the heart of Islam's holiest city. Makkah, a dramatic and shocking event unfolded in the year 1979. This was a moment that shook not only Saudi Arabia, but also the entire Muslim world. It is remembered today as the siege of the Grand Mosque, the morning of the attack. On the morning of the 20th of November, 1979, as tens of thousands of worshippers gathered inside MasjidAlHaram for the Fajr prayer, something unimaginable happened. A group of armed men, led by a preacher named Juhayman al-Otaybi, suddenly rose up from the crowd. They carried rifles, ammunition, and supplies that had been smuggled into the holy mosque. Juhayman and his followers declared that the awaited Mahdi, a messianic figure in Islamic belief, had arrived. They believed that one of their members, Muhammad al-Khatmi, was this Mahdi, chosen to purify Islam and overthrow what they saw as a corrupt Saudi regime, chaos in the holy mosque. As soon as their plan began, the group seized control of the mosque. They locked the massive gates and cut off all exits, trapping thousands of pilgrims inside. Shots rang out and panic spread among the worshippers. For the first time in centuries, the sanctuary of Makkah had become a battlefield. Saudi security forces rushed to respond, but the attackers had the advantage. They had fortified their positions within the sprawling mosque complex, hiding in underground chambers and minarets. The defenders of the Haram found themselves facing a siege in the holiest place of Islam. The siege lasted days. The battle stretched on for nearly 2 weeks. At first, the Saudi government hesitated, not wanting to use heavy force inside the sacred mosque. But as the days passed, and as pilgrims remained trapped without food or water, pressure mounted. The Saudi army, with advice from foreign specialists including French commandos, devised a plan. Loudspeakers were used to call on the rebels to surrender. When that failed, the army resorted to force. Gas was pumped into underground tunnels, and gun battles erupted in the courtyards and minarets. Finally, after days of bloodshed, the siege was broken. Juhayman and his surviving followers were captured, while Muhammad al-Khatmi, the so-called Mahdi, had been killed during the fighting. Aftermath and consequences. The cost was devastating. Hundreds of people were killed, rebels, soldiers, and innocent worshippers caught in the crossfire. For the Muslim world, it was a shocking violation of the most sacred sanctuary on earth. In the months that followed, Juhayman and many of his men were swiftly tried and executed. The Saudi government, shaken by the event, made major changes. Its strength and its religious policies gave more power to conservative clerics and increased its control over the holy sites. Legacy of 1979. The siege of the Grand Mosque marked a turning point in modern Saudi history. It revealed deep tensions within the kingdom, between tradition and modernity, between authority and rebellion. For many Muslims, it was a painful reminder that even the holiest places are not immune to the struggles of politics and power. To this day, the events of Makkah in 1979 remain one of the most dramatic and controversial chapters in the history of the Islamic world.